Not in Rio de Janeiro, but hovering over every conversation at the summit here. President-elect Donald Trump. The G20 in Brazil looks like being the last major world leader gathering for President Biden, who marked the occasion by giving permission to Ukraine to deploy US long-range missiles into Russia. It looks like use is restricted, and it's not clear if Ukraine will get the go-ahead to use other long-range missiles like the British-French Storm Shadow against targets deep inside Russia.
The United States strongly supports Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity. Everyone around this table, in my view, should as well.
I'm at the G20 with one message, which is that we must double down on our support for Ukraine. Tomorrow is day 1,000 of the conflict. That's 1,000 days of aggression from Russia and 1,000 days of sacrifice from Ukraine. So that is my clear message here. It's number one on my agenda. Obviously, I'm not going to get into operational details because the only winner, if we were to do that, is Putin.
Bussed into Rio to show support for the Chinese government, students and others from local communities waved giant flags. This, the last summit welcome President Biden will ever drive past. President Xi met Joe Biden for talks yesterday in Peru and warned of a new Cold War, of China's non-negotiable red lines, and of the need to treat his country as an equal. His aged counterpart arrived, but then ducked out of the honour guard and the walk up the red carpet ramp. Special arrangements for a man whose world order looks in a fragile state. Keir Starmer held talks with President Xi. He said he might visit Beijing himself, something British Prime Ministers have avoided doing since Theresa May was in power 6 years ago.
The world has entered a new period marked by turbulence and transformation.
While Keir Starmer in his opening remarks was raising human rights issues, Chinese officials started badgering the media out of the room.
I'm very pleased that my Foreign Secretary and Foreign Minister Wang met recently and discussed respective concerns, including human rights and parliamentary sanctions, Taiwan, South China Sea, and our shared interest in Hong Kong. We are concerned by reports of Jimmy Lai's deterioration health in prison. You raised the Chinese embassy building in London when we spoke on the telephone, and we have since taken action by calling in that application. Now we have to follow the legal process and timeline. I've been clear that I want a serious and pragmatic relationship with China. It's the second biggest economy in the world. It's one of our biggest trading partners, and therefore we have issues that we clearly need to discuss, whilst of course being clear about the issues that we do not agree on.
Brazil put poverty and climate change at the top of the agenda for this summit. Its regional rival, Argentina, has made drafting agreement a nightmare. Argentina's President Milei was the first leader favoured with a meeting with Donald Trump after his election, and is seen as something of an understudy. His interventions here, a tiny taster of the disruption and unpredictability which Donald Trump will bring to the world stage, starting formally in 2 months' time, but in truth evident everywhere here this week.